Be Authentic You, Live with Purpose and Passion. Written and published by the Zillionpro. Chapter 1. The Call to Authenticity. There comes a moment in every person's life when the whisper of truth becomes too loud to ignore. It often begins as a subtle inner nudge, a feeling that something is off, that you're not fully present in your own life. You may find yourself going through the motions, working hard, keeping up appearances, checking off milestones, yet feeling strangely empty. This is the call to authenticity, the great disconnect. In our modern world, we are often taught to measure success by external standards, status, wealth, achievement, or appearance. From childhood, we're molded by parents, teachers, media, and culture, learning how to fit in and play roles that are deemed acceptable. We adapt to meet expectations, often at the cost of suppressing our real selves. But no matter how well we perform on the outside, the soul keeps score. The heart knows when it's not living in alignment with its true desires. And the more we deny our inner voice, the louder the disconnect grows, manifesting as restlessness, anxiety, burnout, or even depression. What is authenticity? Authenticity is the practice of being fully and genuinely yourself. It means living in truth, not just speaking honestly, but embodying your deepest values, passions, and beliefs in everyday life. It's not a performance, and it's not about perfection. It's about alignment. Being authentic doesn't mean you expose every part of yourself to everyone. It means the person you present to the world is not a mask, but a reflection of your inner truth. Answering the inner call. The call to authenticity isn't always dramatic. Sometimes it comes in quiet moments, in dissatisfaction after a promotion, in tears after an unfulfilling social event, in the gnawing question, is this all there is? These moments are sacred invitations to come home to yourself. Ignoring the call may lead to a life of quiet regret, but answering it, though sometimes uncomfortable, is the path to deep fulfillment, peace, and passionate living. Signs you're not living authentically. You constantly seek approval or fear rejection. You feel like you're playing a role, not living a life. You suppress your desires, opinions, or dreams to maintain harmony. You often feel drained or disconnected, even in your own success. You fear being found out or judged if people saw the real you. If you resonate with any of these, you're not alone. These are signals, not failures. They are your soul's way of guiding you toward realignment. Why living authentically matters. Living authentically is not just a luxury, it's a necessity for a life of purpose and passion. When you are true to yourself, your energy becomes magnetic. Your decisions become clearer. You attract relationships that nourish your spirit. Your work begins to feel like an extension of your values. You feel alive, instead of just existing. Authenticity fosters resilience, confidence, and clarity. It allows you to stop hustling for worth and instead root your identity in truth. The cost of pretending. Pretending to be someone you're not is exhausting. It splits your identity and burdens you with anxiety and self-doubt. The more you invest in an inauthentic image, the more you fear losing it. But authenticity frees you. It releases the tension and allows you to live with integrity, creativity, and ease. You don't have to wait for a crisis to change. You don't need permission to be yourself. The first step is simply awareness, noticing the parts of your life where you're hiding, compromising, or shrinking, and deciding to show up differently. The journey begins. This book is an invitation, a journey back to the core of who you are, not the version shaped by fear or social conditioning, but the one shaped by passion, purpose, and inner wisdom. In the chapters that follow, we'll walk step by step through the process of rediscovering, embracing, and expressing your most authentic self. It will require courage, honesty, and a willingness to let go of what no longer serves you. But the reward is immense, a life of true alignment, meaning, and joy. So take a deep breath. The call has come. It's time to answer. You are ready to become the most powerful version of yourself, the authentic you. Chapter 2. Who are you, really? Before you can live authentically, you must first understand who you truly are, not who others expect you to be, not who you pretend to be to fit in, and not the version of you shaped by fear or conformity. The real you lies beneath all the labels, roles, and conditioning. But to find that person, you must be willing to go on an inward journey, a search not for something new, but for something real. The myth of identity. From an early age, we are given labels. You're smart. You're shy. You're the responsible one. These identities, often handed to us by parents, teachers, or peers, begin to shape how we see ourselves. Over time, they become like clothes we wear every day, comfortable, but not always a true reflection of who we are. Then there are the roles we play: student, spouse, parent, employee, leader. These roles may carry responsibilities and expectations, but they do not define the essence of who you are. You are not your title. You are not your past. You are not your failures, and you are certainly not your resume. The question remains, when all the labels are stripped away, who is left? Peeling back the layers. To discover the authentic you, you must start peeling back the layers of programming. Ask yourself, what do I believe about myself, and where did those beliefs come from? What parts of me do I hide to gain acceptance? What dreams have I silenced because they didn't seem practical or realistic? What brings me joy, even if I've been told it's not important? This is not a process of becoming, it's a process of remembering. Your true self is not something you create. It's something you uncover. Values, the compass of the true self. Your values are the invisible threads that guide your decisions, shape your relationships, and fuel your purpose. When you live in alignment with your values, you feel empowered and energized. When you violate them, you feel uneasy, drained, or conflicted. Take time to identify your core values. Not the values you think you should have, but the ones that truly matter to you. These might include freedom, integrity, creativity, compassion, growth, adventure, spirituality. Write them down, rank them, reflect on them. Your values are the compass that points toward your authentic life. Passions and gifts, clues to your essence. What lights you up? What activities make you lose track of time? What did you love doing as a child, before the world told you who to be? Your passions aren't random, they are indicators of your design. Likewise, your natural gifts, whether they are creativity, empathy, leadership, or analytical thinking, are signposts pointing to your true self. Living authentically means integrating these passions and gifts into your daily life, not just as hobbies, but as expressions of who you are. The voice within. In the midst of the noise of modern life, your inner voice often gets drowned out, but it's always there, softly speaking truth, offering guidance, and reminding you of what truly matters. Learning to hear and trust that voice is key to becoming your authentic self. You might call it intuition, inner knowing, or your soul. Whatever name you give it, it's the part of you that's wise, clear, and deeply connected. Spend time in silence. Journal your thoughts. Meditate. Reflect. The more you listen to the voice within, the more confident you become in your truth. The risk of self-discovery. It's not always easy to confront the truth of who you are, especially when it challenges your current reality. You may discover that you've built a life based on other people's expectations. You may realize that some relationships or career paths no longer align with your core. This can be painful, but remember, truth liberates. What you lose in comfort, you gain in clarity and power. And as you step into your truth, you become a force, not just for yourself, but for others who need to see what authenticity looks like. Who you are is enough. You don't need to become someone else. You don't need to fix or improve yourself to be worthy. The authentic you, flawed, growing, vibrant, and real, is more than enough. You are a unique expression of life, with a purpose that only you can fulfill. Embracing who you are is not arrogance, it's reverence for the masterpiece that is your existence. Journal prompts for self-discovery. When do I feel most alive and aligned? What dreams have I buried to please others? What lies have I believed about myself that no longer serve me? What values are non-negotiable for me? Who am I when no one is watching? Answering these questions won't happen overnight, but each insight brings you closer to your authentic core. The journey to authenticity begins with the courage to know yourself. Because once you truly know who you are, you'll never again settle for being someone you're not. Chapter 3. The Masks We Wear. Human beings are incredibly adaptable. We learn to conform to our environments, survive difficult situations, and navigate social systems with skill. In doing so, we often create versions of ourselves tailored to fit in, to be accepted, or to avoid pain. These versions become masks, emotional, psychological, or even behavioral disguises we wear to protect ourselves. But over time, the mask becomes a prison. It keeps us safe, but also keeps us stuck. It hides not just our flaws, but also our gifts, passions, and voice. If we want to live authentically, we must recognize and begin to release the masks we wear. What is a mask? A mask is any persona, behavior, or identity we adopt to gain approval, avoid rejection, or navigate fear. Masks are not always fake, they are often fragments of the self that have been exaggerated or disconnected from the whole. You may wear a mask of strength while crumbling inside, or a mask of perfection to cover deep feelings of inadequacy. You might be the peacemaker to avoid conflict, the overachiever to prove your worth, or the joker to hide your pain. Masks serve a purpose, especially in childhood. They help us survive emotionally when we don't feel safe being ourselves. But as adults, they prevent connection, fulfillment, and true self-expression. Common masks people wear. 1. The people-pleaser mask. Driven by the need to be liked and accepted, this mask causes you to say yes when you mean no, to suppress your true thoughts, and to avoid confrontation at all costs. Over time, resentment builds, and you lose sight of your own needs. 2. The perfectionist mask. This mask hides insecurity behind an image of flawlessness. You may overwork, overcompensate, or avoid vulnerability, afraid that any imperfection will make you unlovable or unworthy. 3. The strong one mask. You're always the dependable one, never asking for help, never showing weakness. This mask blocks intimacy, as others rarely see your authentic emotions or struggles. 4. The cool or detached mask. To avoid being hurt or appearing too emotional, you distance yourself. You present a facade of indifference or aloofness, even when you long for connection. 5. The achiever mask. Success becomes your identity. You chase titles, accomplishments, or recognition to prove your worth, but beneath the drive is often a fear of being seen as ordinary or not enough. 6. The chameleon mask. You adapt to everyone around you, blending in wherever you go. You're easy to get along with, but you struggle to define your true identity or voice. These masks aren't inherently bad, they often helped you survive. But to thrive, they must be acknowledged and gradually released. Why we wear masks. Fear of rejection. If I show the real me, they might not like me. Fear of vulnerability. My truth might make me look weak. Past trauma or shame. I've been hurt before, it's safer to hide. Social conditioning. I've been taught to behave this way to be accepted or praised. The problem is that masks distort reality. People may love the mask, but not the real you. As a result, relationships feel hollow, and self-worth becomes tied to performance rather than presence. The consequences of wearing masks: chronic exhaustion from performing, disconnection from true desires and emotions, inauthentic relationships that don't nourish the soul, anxiety or depression from inner conflict, a lack of clarity about who you truly are. The longer you wear the mask, the more you lose touch with your authentic self. But the moment you begin removing it, even gradually, you start to experience a life of freedom, intimacy, and personal power. How to identify your masks. Ask yourself, in what situations do I feel the need to hide or pretend? What image am I trying to protect? What do I fear would happen if I showed the real me? Where do I feel the most disconnected or drained? Pay attention to recurring roles you play, emotional triggers, and moments of discomfort. These are clues to the masks you may be wearing. Removing the masks. Removing a mask doesn't mean you expose everything to everyone. It means you start showing up with honesty and courage, especially with yourself. Step 1. Recognize the mask without judgment. Understand the role it played. Appreciate how it protected you. Don't shame yourself for wearing it. Step 2. Explore what lies beneath. What emotions, desires, or wounds has the mask been covering? Allow them to surface with compassion. Step 3. Practice safe vulnerability. Start with people you trust. Share your truth, even if it's small. Be real. Let yourself be seen. Step 4. Set new boundaries. You're allowed to say no. You're allowed to choose authenticity over approval. Your truth matters. Step 5. Replace the mask with presence. You don't need to perform. Just be. Trust that your real self is enough. Freedom on the other side. Every time you remove a mask, you reclaim a part of yourself. You stop living for validation and start living from truth. You stop exhausting yourself trying to please others and start aligning with your own soul. When you live mask-free, you attract relationships based on authenticity, build self-respect and inner peace, walk in your truth with confidence, tap into your creativity and intuition, experience joy without pretending. Removing the mask is not weakness, it's strength. It's the beginning of living as the authentic you. Chapter 4: Healing the wounds that hide you. To become the authentic version of yourself, you must go beyond peeling back the layers and removing the masks. You must heal. Authenticity cannot flourish in a soul that is wounded and bleeding in silence. Unhealed wounds distort how we see ourselves, relate to others, and respond to life. Many of us have lived through pain, rejection, betrayal, loss, failure, abuse, abandonment. Some of the wounds are obvious, while others are buried under years of suppression. But whether visible or hidden, they shape our self-image, our choices, and even our dreams. The connection between wounds and identity. When something painful happens, especially early in life, we instinctively form beliefs to make sense of the pain. These beliefs become internal narratives that influence how we show up in the world. I'm not lovable. I don't matter. I must work hard to be accepted. If I open up, I'll get hurt. I can't trust anyone. These lies masquerade as truth. They form the unconscious architecture of our identity, and until we heal, we will keep sabotaging our authenticity, even unknowingly. Healing isn't about pretending the pain didn't happen. It's about choosing to no longer let that pain define who you are or limit who you can become. Signs you're living from an unhealed wound. You overreact to minor situations with intense emotion. You avoid intimacy or fear abandonment. You constantly seek external validation. You struggle with boundaries. You self-sabotage moments of happiness or success. You feel stuck in the same emotional patterns despite your efforts to change. These are not flaws, they are signals. Signals that healing is needed, not more pretending or pushing through. The courage to face the pain. Healing begins when you stop running from what hurt you. Avoidance only buries the wound deeper. Numbing the pain with distractions, social media, work, alcohol, relationships, delays healing and prolongs suffering. To heal, you must look directly at the wound with tenderness and truth. This takes courage. It means feeling what you didn't want to feel, remembering what you tried to forget, questioning beliefs that have kept you small. But it is through the pain, not around it, that freedom is found. The stages of emotional healing. 1. The awareness. You become conscious of the wound. You recognize its origin and how it's affecting your present life. This is the beginning of change. 2. Acceptance. You stop denying, minimizing, or blaming. You allow yourself to feel the pain, to grieve what was lost, and to acknowledge the truth of your experience. 3. Releasing the lie. You challenge the false belief tied to the wound. If you were told you're not enough, you begin to speak the opposite. I am worthy. I am whole. 4. Forgiveness, if needed. This may be the most difficult step. Forgiveness is not about excusing the wrong, it's about releasing yourself from the emotional prison. Sometimes, the hardest person to forgive is yourself. 5. Rewriting the story. You reclaim the narrative. Your pain becomes part of your power, your wounds become wisdom, and your story becomes a testimony, not a limitation. Inner child healing. Many wounds originate from childhood. The inner child is the part of you that still holds on to those early emotions, fear, loneliness, shame, longing for love. To heal, you must reconnect with that inner child, listen to what they need. Reassure them with your adult voice. Give yourself the love and safety you once lacked. Say to yourself, I see you. I love you. You are safe now. You don't have to perform anymore to be loved. This act of self-parenting begins to rewrite your nervous system and restore your sense of wholeness. Practical steps to begin healing. Journaling. Write about your pain honestly. Give yourself permission to express emotions you've buried. Therapy or coaching. A trusted guide can help you unpack and process trauma in a safe space. Meditation and breath work. Learn to sit with your feelings and calm your nervous system. Affirmations. Speak healing truths to yourself consistently. Art, music, movement. Use creative expression as a way to release and transform pain. Boundaries. Learn to say no. Protect your peace as a form of self-respect, turning wounds into wisdom. One of the most empowering truths is that your deepest pain can become your greatest strength. What you've lived through gives you insight, empathy, and purpose. Many of the world's greatest leaders, healers, and artists turned their suffering into service. They didn't let their wounds define them, they let them refine them. You don't need to be fully healed to begin living authentically. Healing is a lifelong journey, but the moment you start honoring your wounds instead of hiding them, your authenticity begins to bloom. Reflection questions. What emotional wound do I still carry that may be shaping my identity? What false belief did I adopt because of my pain? What does my inner child need from me right now? Who do I need to forgive to set myself free? How can I begin treating myself with more compassion? Authenticity is not perfection, it is healing in progress. It is the choice to live from truth rather than trauma. Chapter 5. Discovering your purpose. There's a stirring deep within you, a quiet whisper that longs to be heard. It is the voice of purpose. It does not shout, but it is persistent. It asks questions like, why am I here? What am I meant to do with my life? How do I live in a way that truly matters? Purpose is the compass of the authentic life. Without it, we drift, tossed by the winds of other people's expectations, societal definitions of success, and our own fears. But when you find your purpose, life begins to align. Clarity replaces confusion, energy replaces exhaustion, and passion replaces passivity. What is purpose? Purpose is not just what you do, it's why you do it. It's the deeper reason behind your actions, your work, and your contribution to the world. It is the intersection of your values, gifts, passions, and the needs of the world around you. Think of it as your soul's mission, the unique reason you exist that no one else can fulfill in quite the same way. Purpose isn't reserved for famous leaders, artists, or world changers. Every person has a purpose, whether you're raising children, writing poetry, inventing new technology, building a business, or serving in your community. The myths about purpose. Before you can truly discover your purpose, you must let go of the myths that distort it. 1. Myth: purpose is a job title. Truth: purpose is bigger than any role. It can be expressed through many roles and seasons. 2. Myth: only special people have purpose. Truth: everyone has a unique contribution. Your life is not an accident. 3. Myth: purpose is found once and for all. Truth: purpose evolves. As you grow, your understanding of it deepens. 4. Myth: you must quit everything to pursue your purpose. Truth: you can begin right where you are. Purpose is lived in everyday moments. Why purpose matters. Direction: purpose gives your life focus. You make better decisions and say no to distractions. Motivation: purpose fuels perseverance. You don't give up easily when you know why you started. Fulfillment: purpose brings joy and meaning that success alone can't provide. Impact: purpose expands your influence. You begin to live for something bigger than yourself. Without purpose, even achievement feels empty. With purpose, even the simplest tasks become sacred. Clues to discovering your purpose. If you don't know your purpose yet, that's okay. You don't have to force it. You uncover it by paying attention, especially to the following clues. 1. Your passions. What excites you? What do you love doing so much that time disappears? Passion points to purpose. Passion energizes you, even when it requires hard work. Ask yourself, what makes me come alive? What problems do I feel passionate about solving? 2. Your pain. Often, our greatest purpose is hidden in our deepest pain. What have you suffered through? What life lessons have you learned the hard way? You are uniquely qualified to help others overcome what you've conquered. Ask yourself, what wound have I healed from that could be someone else's breakthrough? How can I turn my scars into service? 3. Your strengths. What comes naturally to you? What do others consistently thank you for or seek your help with? Your gifts are not accidental. They are tools for fulfilling your purpose. Ask yourself, what am I naturally good at? What do I do better than most with little effort? 4. Your values. What matters most to you? What principles are you unwilling to compromise on? Your values are the guardrails of purpose. They define what kind of impact you want to have and how you want to live. Ask yourself, what injustices or issues stir something deep in me? What do I want to be remembered for? 5. Your dreams. What visions have been quietly lingering in your heart? What would you pursue if fear, money, or time were no object? Ask yourself, if I could design my ideal life, what would I be doing every day? What legacy do I want to leave behind? The purpose formula. A simple way to frame your purpose is this: purpose equals passion plus strengths plus impact. For example, passion, you love storytelling. Strength, you're a great communicator. Impact, you want to inspire healing in people. Your purpose could be to use storytelling to inspire emotional healing through books, film, speaking, or coaching. The expression of your purpose may shift, but the essence stays true. Barriers to living your purpose. Fear of failure, self-doubt or imposter syndrome, comparison with others, financial insecurity, lack of support or mentorship. These are real, but they are not stronger than your purpose. The key is to start small and now. Don't wait for clarity. Start with curiosity and service. Clarity comes through action, not just reflection. Living on purpose every day. Purpose is not just about the big picture, it's about how you show up daily, speak with intention, love with sincerity, work with meaning, serve with humility. You may not have figured out your ultimate mission yet, but you can live with purpose in how you treat others, how you grow, and how you show up in the world. Affirmations for purpose discovery. I was born with purpose. I trust the process of discovery. My story matters. Each day, I grow closer to my calling. My life is meaningful and impactful. Reflection exercises. 1 Purpose journal prompt. Write the story of your life so far. Highlight the turning points, both joyful and painful. What patterns do you notice? 2 Life audit. List your top 5 passions, strengths, and values. Look for overlaps or recurring themes. 3 Impact statement. Fill in the blanks. I want to use my gift/skill to solve what problem/help whom, so that desired impact. Discovering your purpose is not about arriving, it's about aligning. It's choosing every day to live from your truest self, for the highest good, with intentional action. Chapter 6. Awakening passion. Passion is the fire that fuels your life. It is the emotional engine behind your purpose, the spark that ignites your energy and inspires your actions. When you live with passion, you experience life more vividly. You feel connected, alive, and unstoppable. Yet, for many people, passion feels distant, buried under routine, dulled by disappointment, or numbed by fear. In this chapter, we'll explore how to rekindle that inner flame and live from a place of deep emotional vitality. What is passion? Passion is the intense enthusiasm or compelling desire you feel towards something that resonates with your heart. It's more than interest or liking something, it's a deep connection that energizes and empowers you. Passion is not always loud. It's not always dramatic. Sometimes, it shows up as quiet, persistent fascination, a gentle pull towards something that matters deeply. You don't need to wait to feel passionate. You awaken passion by engaging life wholeheartedly. Why passion matters? Passion fuels perseverance. When things get hard, passion gives you the strength to keep going. Passion awakens creativity. It opens your mind to new ideas, new paths, and bold possibilities. Passion energizes your being. It lifts your mood, strengthens your immune system, and enhances your overall well-being. Passion attracts others. People are drawn to passion. It inspires trust, excitement, and shared purpose. A life without passion becomes mechanical. A life with passion becomes magnetic. The passion myths. Let's dispel some common misconceptions. Myth: passion is something you're born with. Truth: passion is cultivated through exploration and engagement. Myth: you only have one passion. Truth: people often have many passions over a lifetime, and they evolve. Myth: passion is always obvious. Truth: it may be hidden in small habits, subtle interests, or buried under fear. Myth: you can't make a living from passion. Truth: many people do, and even if you don't, you can still prioritize passion in your life. Barriers to passion. Fear of judgment: what will people think? Fear of failure: what if I try and don't succeed? Busyness and burnout: I don't have time for passion. Self-doubt: I'm not talented enough. Past disappointment: I tried before and got hurt. These fears are common, but they are not insurmountable. Passion begins with giving yourself permission to explore what lights you up again. Clues to your passion. Your passions may not announce themselves loudly, but they always leave a trail. Look for signs in 1. What you loved as a child. Before life taught you to be practical, what did you naturally gravitate toward? What games did you play? What dreams did you imagine? 2. What you lose time doing. When are you so absorbed in something that you forget to check your phone or look at the clock? 3. What energizes you? What activities leave you feeling more alive afterward instead of drained? 4. What frustrates or moves you deeply? What problems in the world stir your emotions? Often, the causes you feel passionate about are directly linked to your life's calling. 5. What people compliment you on. What do others often say you're great at or come to you for advice on? Practical steps to awaken passion. 1. Explore without pressure. Passion is awakened through curiosity. Try new hobbies, take a class, volunteer, write, create, teach, build. It's okay if it doesn't turn into a career. What matters is that it lights you up. 2. Notice energy shifts. Keep a journal of what gives you energy and what drains you. Pay attention to moments that make you smile, stand taller, or feel more like yourself. 3. Create space for passion. Even 30 minutes a week invested in something you love can shift your entire emotional state. Protect time for what matters to you, even in small doses. 4. Reconnect with wonder. Spend time in nature. Listen to music that moves you. Read stories that stir your imagination. Passion thrives in wonder, not in worry. 5. Let go of perfection. Don't wait to be perfect at something to begin. Passion is not about mastery, it's about connection. Play, experiment, be bad at it, just enjoy it. 6. Surround yourself with passionate people. Energy is contagious. Find friends, mentors, or communities who live with passion. Their fire can reignite yours. Living passionately every day. You don't need to quit your job or move to another country to live passionately. Passion is a mindset, a choice to engage life with open-hearted intensity. Ways to live passionately every day. Bring creativity to routine tasks. Speak from your heart. Infuse your work with meaning. Make time for what brings you joy. Express love and gratitude fully. When you live with passion, even small things feel significant. You awaken your senses. You deepen your presence. You begin to feel, once again, fully alive. Passion versus pleasure. It's important to distinguish passion from mere pleasure. Passion is meaningful and sustaining. Pleasure is momentary and often numbing. Passion fulfills the soul. Pleasure entertains the senses. They are both valuable, but don't confuse distraction with direction. Don't chase temporary highs at the expense of lasting joy. Affirmations to awaken passion. My passions matter. I give myself permission to explore and express my joy. I am free to create, love, and live with fire. Passion flows through me and fuels my purpose. I deserve to feel fully alive. Reflection exercises 1. Passion mapping. Create 3 columns: what I love, what I'm good at, and what I care about. Fill each one, then look for overlapping themes. 2. The perfect day exercise. Describe your ideal day, from morning to night. What are you doing? Who are you with? What lights you up? 3. Joy tracker. For 1 week, jot down moments when you feel excited, energized, or fulfilled. Look for patterns. Awakening your passion is not a luxury, it's a necessity for living authentically. Passion is the electricity of the soul. When you discover what makes you come alive, you become unstoppable. Chapter 7. Overcoming fear and limiting beliefs. If passion is the fuel that propels us forward, fear is often the invisible brake that holds us back. Whether you want to start a business, express your creativity, build healthier relationships, or step into your authentic path, fear and limiting beliefs are often the greatest barriers to success. In this chapter, we'll examine the nature of fear, identify the subconscious beliefs that sabotage your potential, and give you the tools to overcome them so you can live with freedom, courage, and authenticity. The nature of fear. Fear is a natural emotional response designed to keep you safe from harm. It protected our ancestors from predators and danger, but in modern life, it often disguises itself as hesitation, self-doubt, anxiety, and procrastination. Fear whispers, "What if I fail? What will people think? I'm not good enough. I don't deserve this. It's too late for me." Most of the time, fear doesn't protect us, it paralyzes us. It keeps us small when we're meant to grow. It silences our voice when we're meant to speak. It confines our dreams when we're meant to soar. Limiting beliefs, the roots of fear. Limiting beliefs are the deeply held thoughts we have about ourselves, others, and life that keep us stuck. They are stories, usually unconscious, that define what we think we can or cannot do. Examples include, I'll never be successful. I'm not smart enough. I'm not lovable. I'm just unlucky. People like me don't achieve greatness. These beliefs are not facts. They are programs, often inherited from childhood, past failures, or cultural conditioning, and like any program, they can be rewritten. The cost of fear and limiting beliefs. Living under fear and false beliefs can cost you opportunities missed, relationships strained, talents unexpressed, dreams unfulfilled, a life unlived. Every time you shrink from your potential, you lose a piece of your authenticity. You compromise who you are meant to be. Types of fear that sabotage purpose. 1. Fear of failure. You avoid taking risks to protect your ego, but it keeps you from discovering your power. 2. Fear of rejection. You silence your voice or dim your light to gain approval, but end up losing yourself. 3. Fear of success. You fear the responsibility or pressure success brings, so you subconsciously sabotage progress. 4. Fear of the unknown. You cling to the familiar, even if it's unfulfilling, because uncertainty feels threatening. 5. Fear of not being enough. You overcompensate, overwork, or avoid trying altogether, believing you don't deserve success. Signs you're living from fear. You constantly seek external validation. You procrastinate or talk yourself out of taking action. You feel stuck, anxious, or unmotivated. You compare yourself endlessly to others. You feel like an imposter in your own life. Awareness is the first step. Once you name your fear, you begin to disarm it. 7 strategies to overcome fear and limiting beliefs. 1. Identify the belief behind the fear. Ask yourself, what am I afraid of? What do I believe will happen if I do this? Whose voice is this really? Write down the limiting belief. Bring it into the light. You can't change what you don't confront. 2. Challenge the lie. Question your belief. Is this absolutely true? Where did I learn this? What is the evidence against it? What would I believe if I knew I could not fail? Most limiting beliefs crumble when challenged. 3. Replace with empowering truths. Transform the belief, I'm not good enough becomes I am growing, learning, and worthy right now. I always fail becomes every failure teaches me something valuable. Write affirmations based on your truth and speak them daily. Feel the fear, do it anyway. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is action despite fear. Take small steps. Build momentum. Fear loses power when you move forward. 5. Visualize the best outcome. Most people imagine the worst-case scenario. Flip the script. Picture success. Visualize the joy, confidence, and fulfillment you will feel. Your mind doesn't know the difference between imagination and reality. It will start to believe in your new story. 6. Surround yourself with empowering people. Environment shapes belief. Spend time with those who uplift you, challenge you, and believe in your potential. Avoid the company of cynics and dream killers. 7. Take bold, consistent action. Action builds confidence. Start before you're ready. Each small win rewires your brain for success and reduces fear's grip. The inner critic, the voice of fear. We all have an internal voice that criticizes, doubts, and belittles. It says, who do you think you are? You'll never make it. You should just give up. This voice is not your enemy, it's your wounded protector. It's trying to keep you safe by avoiding risk. Thank it, then choose not to follow it. Replace it with your inner champion. Your mindset shapes your reality. The difference between someone who lives fully and someone who lives small is not talent, luck, or intelligence, it's mindset. The authentic you is not afraid. The authentic you believes. The authentic you acts. Affirmations for freedom and courage. I release fear and trust my journey. I am bigger than my limiting beliefs. I choose courage over comfort. I rewrite my story with power and love. I am free to be fully me. Reflection exercises. 1. Belief inventory. Write down 5 limiting beliefs you hold. Next to each, write an empowering alternative. 2. Fear letter. Write a letter to your fear. Thank it for trying to protect you, then explain why you're choosing growth over fear. 3. Bold action list. List 3 things you've been avoiding due to fear. Choose one to act on this week. You don't have to live in fear. You are not your past. You are not your failures. You are not your doubts. You are powerful, capable, and free. Your purpose is waiting on the other side of fear. Step through. Your authentic life begins there. Chapter 8. Living from the inside out. In a world that constantly shouts at us to look outside, to compare, to compete, to conform, few people ever stop to look within. But living a life of purpose and passion is not about chasing external validation. It's about discovering who you truly are and expressing that truth unapologetically in the world. This is the essence of living from the inside out, a life guided by internal wisdom rather than external noise. This chapter explores how to shift your orientation from pleasing the world to honoring your soul. What does it mean to live from the inside out? Living from the inside out means that your inner values guide your outer decisions. Your peace is not dependent on external circumstances. You are led by your soul, not by trends, expectations, or fear. It is a life of authenticity, where your actions align with your beliefs, and your identity is rooted in your inner truth, not in your status, possessions, or titles. The problem with outside-in living. When you live from the outside in, you chase approval instead of purpose. You base your worth on what others think. You're easily shaken by rejection, failure, or criticism. You react instead of respond. You lose touch with your own voice. The danger? You become a stranger to yourself. You live everyone else's life but your own. The journey back to your center. To live from the inside out, you must come home to yourself. You must rediscover your inner compass. This journey starts with awareness and grows with intention. Ask yourself, what do I believe in deeply? What lights my soul on fire? What am I pretending not to know? Who am I when no one is watching? These questions guide you inward, to a place of clarity and connection. The inner life determines the outer experience. The quality of your outer life is a reflection of your inner world. If your mind is cluttered, your actions will be confused. If your heart is bitter, your relationships will suffer. If your soul is neglected, no achievement will satisfy. But if your inner life is rich, anchored in peace, clarity, and purpose, your outer life becomes an extension of that abundance. The pillars of inside-out living. 1. Clarity of identity. You must know who you are beyond roles and labels. You are not your job, your bank account, or your achievements. You are a unique soul with gifts, values, and a divine design. Anchor your life in your true identity, not your shifting experiences. 2. Alignment with core values. Your values are the compass of your soul. When your decisions reflect your values, you feel powerful and at peace. When you compromise your values, you feel conflicted and lost. Identify your top 5 core values. Build your life around them. 3. Emotional honesty. Living from the inside out means acknowledging what you really feel, not suppressing or performing. Allow yourself to feel your emotions fully. Then ask, what is this feeling trying to teach me? For spiritual connection. Inner life thrives when rooted in something greater than self, whether you call it God, the universe, or spirit. A strong spiritual connection grounds you in wisdom, humility, and courage. Make space for silence, prayer, or meditation daily. The answers you seek outside are often found within. 5. A purposeful action. Once you're clear on who you are and what matters, your actions must reflect it. Inner truth must express itself in outer boldness. Speak what you believe. Create what you dream. Live what you know. Practices for inside-out living. 1. Morning centering. Start your day with intention. Before the world speaks, listen to your own voice. Breathe, reflect, journal, or pray. Ask, what do I need today? How do I want to show up? What would make today meaningful? 2. Internal check-ins. Throughout the day, pause and ask, am I in alignment right now? Am I making this choice from fear or freedom? What does my inner self need? These simple pauses help you stay grounded and authentic. 3. Nightly reflection. End each day by looking within. Ask, did I honor myself today? Where did I compromise my truth? What am I grateful for? This builds awareness and spiritual growth. Letting go of external noise. Living from the inside out means letting go of the need to impress, the fear of judgment, the pressure to prove, the addiction to busyness. It means choosing depth over drama, stillness over stimulation, truth over trends. You'll find that when you stop trying to be what others expect, you become who you were always meant to be. Your authentic power. Your greatest power lies not in what you do, but in who you are. When your inner life is rich, you become resilient in adversity. You stay true even when misunderstood. You experience peace regardless of chaos. You attract what aligns with your truth. You don't chase opportunities, they recognize and respond to your authenticity. Inside-out leadership. Whether you lead a business, a family, or a community, your greatest leadership begins with self-leadership. People follow clarity, integrity, and consistency. When you live from the inside out, you inspire trust. You attract respect. You create real impact. The world needs more people who live with soul, not just with strategy. Reflection prompts. 1. What beliefs have I adopted from the outside world that no longer serve me? 2. What do I truly value, and am I living accordingly? 3. When was the last time I felt deeply connected to myself? 4. What daily practice can help me return to my center? Affirmations for inside-out living. I live in alignment with my truth. My worth comes from within. I choose authenticity over approval. I am guided by my inner wisdom. The world around me reflects the peace within me. Closing thoughts. The authentic life is an inside job. It's not found in what you wear, where you live, or who likes you. It's found in quiet confidence, clear purpose, and courageous self-expression. When you live from the inside out, you don't just survive, you shine. You don't just go through life, you grow through it. And you become a light in a world that desperately needs truth. The real you is not something you become. It's something you remember. Chapter 9. Building authentic relationships. One of the deepest longings of the human heart is to connect, to be seen, heard, understood, and accepted. While living authentically begins within, it reaches its highest expression through relationships. We were not made to walk alone. To live as the authentic you must learn to build authentic relationships, connections rooted in honesty, trust, and mutual growth. In this chapter, we will uncover how to create and nurture genuine relationships that enrich your life, align with your purpose, and reflect your deepest values. What makes a relationship authentic? An authentic relationship is built on truth, vulnerability, and mutual respect. It allows each person to be fully themselves without fear of judgment, manipulation, or performance. Key elements include honesty, no masks, no pretense. You say what you mean and mean what you say. Vulnerability, the courage to show your imperfect irons and fears. Trust, a sacred confidence that each party has the other's best interest at heart. Mutual growth, both people are committed to becoming better together. Shared values, a common ground that anchors the relationship. Authentic relationships are not about perfection. They are about presence, being real, being kind, and being consistent. Why we struggle with authentic connections. Despite our need for connection, many struggle with forming deep, honest relationships. Why? Fear of rejection. We hide our true selves because we're afraid others won't accept us. People-pleasing. We shapeshift to meet others' expectations instead of showing up as we are. Wounds and trauma. Past betrayals make us guarded and distrusting. Busyness and distraction. We invest more in digital connection than in real human presence. Superficial norms. Culture often celebrates surface over substance. To build authentic relationships, you must unlearn these patterns and return to soul-level connection. Relationship with self, the foundation. The first relationship you must get right is the one with yourself. You can't give what you don't have. You can't expect others to value you if you secretly devalue yourself. Authentic relationships begin with self-respect, self-knowledge, and self-love. Ask yourself, do I enjoy my own company? Do I speak kindly to myself? Do I know what I want, need, and value? Do I set healthy boundaries? Until you show up fully for you, you'll struggle to show up fully for others. How to build authentic relationships. 1. Lead with honesty. Honesty invites honesty. When you speak your truth respectfully, you give others permission to do the same. Say what you feel. Express your needs. Be transparent about your intentions. 2. Be vulnerable, not perfect. Drop the mask. Let others see your flaws, your story, and your heart. True connection happens not when we impress, but when we relate. Your authenticity becomes a mirror for others to feel safe. 3. Practice active listening. Be fully present when others speak. Listen to understand, not just to respond. Make people feel heard, not fixed. Authenticity grows in the soil of deep listening. 4. Respect boundaries. Healthy relationships have clear boundaries. Respect others' limits and communicate your own. Boundaries protect connection, they don't block it. 5. Support each other's growth. Celebrate wins. Speak life. Encourage dreams. Challenge self-limiting beliefs. Authentic relationships are growth-oriented, not control-driven. 6. Give grace, not perfectionism. People will disappoint you. Offer forgiveness. Extend compassion. Understand that everyone is evolving, just like you. 7. Show up consistently. Trust is built over time through consistent actions. Be there. Keep your word. Follow through. Small actions done often build lifelong bonds. Detoxing toxic relationships. To build authentic relationships, you must also learn to recognize and release toxic ones. Toxic relationships drain your energy, shame you for being yourself, guilt trip, manipulate, or gaslight, make you feel small, anxious, or unworthy. Letting go of toxic connections is not selfish, it's self-respect. Sometimes the most loving thing you can do for yourself and the other person is to walk away. Friendship, romance, and community. Whether it's friendship, romantic love, or community, friendships should be safe havens where you laugh, learn, and lean on each other. Romantic relationships should be partnerships where you grow in love, not lose yourself. Community should be a circle of belonging, not a cage of conformity. In all relationships, authenticity is your compass. Authenticity in difficult conversations. One of the most courageous acts in relationships is having honest, hard conversations. Here's how: speak from I, not you. I feel, versus you always. Focus on behavior, not identity. Listen fully before responding. Stay calm and rooted in your intention, reconnection, not retaliation. Be open to feedback and growth. Authentic relationships are strengthened, not shattered, by honest dialogue. Healing through connection. Authentic relationships are not only joyful, they are healing. They remind you that you are not alone. You are worthy of love without condition. You can be seen, known, and accepted. In a world that often feels cold and performative, genuine connection is sacred. It restores your soul. Reflection questions. 1. Who are the most authentic people in my life, and why? 2. What relationships feel draining or fake? 3. In what ways do I hide or perform in relationships? 4. What boundaries do I need to set or reinforce? 5. What qualities do I value in an authentic connection? Affirmations for authentic connection. I attract relationships that honor who I truly am. I am safe to be fully myself in connection with others. I speak my truth with love and confidence. My relationships reflect my highest values. I give and receive love authentically. Closing thoughts. Authenticity is not a solo journey. The fullest expression of your true self is found in relationship with self, with others, and with the world. When you dare to show up as the real you, you invite others to do the same. You don't need 1,000 connections. You need a few that are true. So be bold, be vulnerable, be honest, and above all, be you, because the real you is the bridge to the relationships you've always longed for. Chapter 10. The courage to be different. There comes a moment in every authentic journey when you realize you are not like everyone else, and you were never meant to be. The moment you stop trying to blend in and start owning your difference is the moment you begin to walk in power. It takes courage to stand out in a world designed to pressure you into conformity, but it is this very courage that unlocks your unique voice, path, and destiny. This chapter will examine what it means to live boldly, bravely, and unapologetically different, how to embrace your distinction as your strength and step into the life only you can live. Why being different feels scary. From a young age, we're conditioned to seek approval, acceptance, and belonging. Our schools, cultures, religious institutions, and even families often reward sameness and punish difference. Standing out often comes with labels: weird, rebellious, too much, too little. This fear of rejection creates an internal tension. Should I be who I am, or who they want me to be? Choosing authenticity over conformity feels risky because it often means walking alone for a season, being misunderstood, facing criticism, leaving the crowd. But true freedom only comes when you are no longer hostage to others' expectations. The power of being different. Your difference is not your weakness, it is your superpower. Greatness never came from imitation. Every trailblazer, artist, inventor, and world changer was, at some point, the odd one out. They succeeded because they leaned into their uniqueness instead of running from it. Being different means you have original ideas. You offer fresh perspectives. You challenge norms that no longer serve humanity. You embody the courage others secretly crave. When you fully embrace your difference, you give others permission to do the same. Signs you're suppressing your difference. You shrink your personality to make others comfortable. You copy others' lifestyles instead of creating your own. You stay silent when your voice could bring change. You deny your intuition to follow what everyone else is doing. You pretend to agree to avoid confrontation. These habits erode your sense of identity over time. They disconnect you from your power and purpose. To reclaim your authenticity, you must learn to say, I choose to be different, even if it makes me stand alone. How to cultivate the courage to be different. 1. Know your core values. When you are deeply rooted in your values, you stop needing validation. Clarity of purpose gives you the strength to stand firm. Ask yourself, what do I stand for? What will I no longer compromise? What kind of life do I want to live? 2. Embrace your story. Your life experiences, including your pain, are what make you different and powerful. Share your story. Own your scars. Let the truth of your journey speak louder than any need to impress. 3. Surround yourself with brave souls. Find others who are also walking the path of authenticity. They may not look or think like you, but they will affirm your right to be you. Authentic people don't compete, they celebrate. 4. Practice nonconformity in small steps. Where what expresses your soul. Speak your truth kindly but firmly. Say no when it's easier to say yes. Every time you choose difference over default, you build inner strength. 5. Develop emotional resilience. Not everyone will understand or accept your difference, and that's okay. Learn to withstand judgment, rejection, and discomfort. What feels like opposition is often the proving ground of authenticity. 6. Stay curious, not defensive. Being different doesn't mean being arrogant. Stay open to learning and dialogue. Let your difference expand your empathy, not your ego. Letting go of the need to please. People-pleasing is the death of authenticity. When you constantly adjust to keep everyone happy, you lose your voice. Remember, you were not born to fit every mold. You were not created to make everyone comfortable. You are not responsible for others' opinions of your truth. You are only responsible for living in alignment with your purpose. Difference is not isolation, it's invitation. Being different doesn't mean being alone forever. Paradoxically, when you own your difference, you begin to attract your tribe, people who resonate with your real essence. Your uniqueness is an invitation for others to step into deeper connection, creativity, and consciousness. The world doesn't need more copies. It needs more courage. Voices that changed the world because they were different. Mahatma Gandhi refused to fight injustice through violence. Frida Kahlo redefined art through her pain and femininity. Albert Einstein reimagined physics while being seen as odd. Rosa Parks sat down so others could stand up. Steve Jobs thought differently and created a movement. Every one of them was first rejected, misunderstood, or dismissed. But they had the courage to say, this is who I am, and this is the mark I will leave. Reflection questions. 1. Where in my life am I pretending to fit in? 2. What parts of myself have I hidden for fear of being judged? 3. Who or what have I been giving my power to? 4. What would I do if I wasn't afraid of being different? 5. How can I affirm my uniqueness in small, daily ways? Affirmations for courage and individuality. I celebrate what makes me different. I am free to be fully myself, even when it's uncomfortable. I am not here to impress, I am here to express. My uniqueness is my gift to the world. I have the courage to stand alone when necessary. Closing thoughts. Being different is not a flaw. It is the fingerprint of your soul on the canvas of this world. To live authentically is to dare to stand apart, to challenge the status quo, and to blaze a trail where none existed. The journey won't always be easy, but it will always be worth it. So go ahead, be bold, be brave, be different. The world needs your fire, not your fake it. Chapter 11. Designing your authentic life. Your life is your greatest work of art. You are both the architect and the masterpiece. Every decision you make, every belief you embrace, and every boundary you set is part of the blueprint that shapes your reality. In this chapter, we will explore how to intentionally design a life that aligns with who you truly are, a life that reflects your values, passions, dreams, and essence. Too many people are living lives they didn't design. They are following scripts handed to them by culture, family, media, or fear. But an authentic life is not one you inherit, it's one you create. What does it mean to design your life? To design your life means to live consciously rather than by default. It means choosing how you spend your time and energy, defining success on your own terms, saying yes to what aligns and no to what doesn't, building habits, environments, and relationships that reflect your true self. It's the opposite of drifting. It's living with clarity, courage, and creativity, the pillars of an authentically designed life. 1. Self-knowledge. Know thyself. Everything starts here. You cannot build a life that fits if you don't know who you are. Ask yourself, what are my core values? What brings me deep joy? What drains my soul? What dreams keep tugging at my heart? Self-awareness is the foundation of authentic living. Journaling, meditation, therapy, and honest reflection are tools that help you build this foundation. 2. Vision. See beyond the now. Authentic living requires vision not just of where you are, but where you want to go. Your vision doesn't need to be grand or public. It only needs to be true to you. Craft a personal vision statement. Something like, I want to live a peaceful, creative life close to nature, surrounded by love and meaningful work. Or, I see myself building a business that uplifts others and expresses my spiritual values. The clearer your vision, the more focused your decisions become. 3. Environment. Curate your world. Your surroundings either support or sabotage your authenticity. This includes, physical space. Is your home /office energizing or draining? People, do they empower or discourage your true self? Digital input. Do your media habits inspire or distract? Design your environment like a sanctuary, a place where your soul can breathe and grow. 4. Boundaries. Protect what matters. Authentic living requires the courage to say no. Boundaries are not walls, they are gates. They protect your peace, purpose, and energy. Set boundaries around toxic relationships, time-wasting activities, unrealistic expectations from others, overcommitment. You are not selfish for choosing yourself. You are wise. 5. A daily rhythm. Live in alignment. Your life is not just shaped by big decisions, but by small, daily habits. Ask yourself, how do I begin and end my day? Do my routines reflect what I value most? Am I making space for rest, reflection, and renewal? Design a daily rhythm that energizes and anchors you. Morning rituals, evening resets, creative hours, digital detoxes, these are sacred tools in designing a meaningful life. The power of saying no. Saying no is one of the most powerful design tools you have. Every no to what's false creates room for what's true. Say no to comparison, people-pleasing, doing what you should instead of what you're called to, busyness without purpose. As you become more intentional, your yes will become more powerful and more rare. Overcoming obstacles to authentic design. You will face resistance. Here's how to overcome the common barriers. Fear of judgment. People may not understand your choices, but remember, their approval is not your permission slip. Live for the audience of one, your soul. Fear of failure. Designing your life is not a one-time decision, it's a fluid, evolving process. Give yourself grace. Learn as you go. Growth comes through experimentation. Guilt or obligation. You are not required to carry old identities or inherited expectations. Let go of what no longer fits. The most loving thing you can do for others is to model truth. Design questions to reflect on. 1. What does an ideal day in my authentic life look like? 2. Who do I need to become to live that life? 3. What am I holding on to that no longer reflects my truth? 4. What environment makes me feel most alive? 5. What is one small design change I can make this week? Affirmations for designing an authentic life. I am the architect of my destiny. I give myself permission to design a life I love. I release the need to follow someone else's map. Every choice I make brings me closer to my true self. My life reflects my values, my voice, and my vision. Closing thoughts. Designing your authentic life is an act of reverence. It is a declaration to the universe that you are here not just to survive, but to thrive. It is about rising each day with intention, living each moment with integrity, and crafting each season with soul. There is no template. There is only truth. And the more you live by yours, the more radiant, peaceful, and purposeful your life becomes. Your authentic life is not a distant dream, it is a conscious creation. Start today.